We are all fully aware that the age of technology has arrived. It makes life so much quicker and easier to navigate, but yet in so many ways, it has opened us up to a higher risk of identity theft. We all saw that in the headlines in the past holiday season, the Target stores and others that have compromised some of our personal information. With us now, our local Allstate agent, Kimberley Ellison, is here. We're talking about how we can protect ourselves from these sorts of situations. Welcome, and thanks for being here. What do we need to know about this when we go forward trying to go, okay, how do I not feel so exposed? How do I protect myself?
Well, the first thing you need to do is protect your bank accounts and your credit cards. So for instance, when you're making purchases, if you have the option to use credit, you want to do that versus debit. You have a greater chance of disputing fraudulent charges on a credit card, and with a debit card, it takes longer, and during that time, you're out the funds.
Right. I shop a lot online. In fact, Christina gives me a hard time because I do a lot of my Christmas shopping online. She's really. But you know, I do go on, and there are times I'm hesitant and I question, is it safe? Is it not safe?
Yeah, how do you protect yourself from the internet? Because the internet is scary. They take things, they steal things from you.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you want to make sure that your internet web browser is always up to date. Oftentimes when we get those software upgrades, it's because it's for
our protection?
Security, right. They're secure upgrades for our internet browser.
So when you see it says we download and install this update, you want to go ahead and do that?
We want to do that. That's that's an update that we want to do. We never want to ignore those prompts and just remind me later, or never disable them, because you want to always know when they're there and available.
I always wondered what that was about, because I'm like, are they changing their minds again? Why are they keep fixing it? Is it broken? It seemed to be working fine, but it's to install those security.
That's good to know. I'm never going to do that again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, just ignore it, because I say, oh gosh, it's going to take too long to do, and then I don't end up doing it. So that's great information.
We do the same thing with our passwords. We want to have the same password that's simple for everything, because we don't want to have to remember it.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, it does need to have a lot of characters and numbers and uppercase, lowercase, whatever it's going to be to protect you.
So so many times, and I'm aware of this because I'll be on a mobile device and I'm always going, oh, I got to get that. I'll get on, Amazon or whatever, and I'll order it. I may be at the coffee shop, I may be wherever. But you say that's not a good idea. If you're going to do online shopping, do it in the privacy of your home?
Correct. First of all, when you're doing all those things in public places, we have a lot of devices. We have laptops, tablets, cell phones. We need to make sure they have a lock on them, so that if we do lose them or we walk away from them and we get them stolen, that people don't have easy access to our information where they can just open it. And you know how when we log into our important bank accounts and credit cards, they'll have a remind me button. We never want that on our mobile devices, because if we lose that, they have access to everything, and the chance of the criminal really taking advantage of us is great at that point.
Yeah, because then you're in the wide open at that point.
But the second part of that is we're usually also pretty conscientious about looking around, making sure no one's looking over our shoulder. But one thing we forget is that public networks are not as secure, and it makes it much easier to
hack into the. When you say public networks, you mean like if you go to a coffee shop or
the airport. Any Wi-Fi that you're on is not going to have the same security as it would in your home or in your office on a desktop.
Well, what happens though if you are compromised? What do you do?
Well, the good thing is if you have purchased identity theft restoration coverage from Allstate, we feel that it's very important and beneficial. The moment you realize that your credit or your identity has been compromised, you contact your local Allstate agent and their staff, and you let them know what's happened. We take it from there.
What are some of the things that service provides, or I would have to do on my own?
We take care of calling the creditors on your behalf, credit card companies, banks. We'll take care of attorney fees. Oftentimes, depending on the severity of it, you do need to get an attorney involved, and it will save you a whole lot of time at a very affordable price to have added this coverage onto your policy.
Well, perhaps it's something you should think about, because he's been compromised, I guess, since I've known you 3 times.
Oh.
Well, yeah, now, and what Christine's referring to is finding fraudulent charges that actually the bank will call and say, hey, we see something that's there, but we'll see, there was one time there was like a charge for $1. I didn't find that a threat, but they immediately said, yes, this is a threat. Why so?
Yes. What we like to recommend in our agency to our clients is that rather than checking your statements monthly, is to do it weekly for that exact reason. At the end of the month, there may be several $1, $2, $3, and you might have gone there, you might not have, but you discard it. Once the thief knows that you've discarded it, then they go for the larger purchases, and it can be a whole lot more of a mess to unwind.
Yeah. Safe over sorry. That's what I say.
Absolutely.
You know, well, good services. I have to, you know, I do a lot of shopping online. I don't know if you do that so much, but at least at credit cards, and it happens in stores as well. I mean,
yes, as we've seen with the Targets and how dangerous.
But even
that
room
can be.
keys, you were telling me about hotel room key, all that information that is stored on a swipe.
I never knew that.
Correct.
That's
so the
scary.
same way that you're cutting up your credit cards, little bitty pieces, and throwing them in different trash cans all over the house so that no one can find them, you want to do that with your hotel key if you have not returned it at the end of your stay.
Yeah. Good information. Good stuff.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
very
It's nice
much.
to have you here.
Contact your Allstate agent to answer more questions that we may not have covered here, and make sure your home and family are protected from identity theft.